Blessing Sunday.
Okay, so before I begin, I'd like to extend my profound gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Wisdom Ezekiel for this opportunity to share my story. Now, we all have stories, but not everybody has or have had or would have the opportunity to share their stories and have people to listen to them. When I got the call from Mr. Ezekiel to come here and share my story, I'm sure he'll be wondering why I kept saying, wow, me? Why? How? I was excited. Not because I was not aspiring to get to that point where I'm being invited to speak in notable platforms, but because that call made me feel seen, felt, and heard. So I want to say thank you very much for that call that you made. The truth is that I feel that Mr. Wisdom doesn't know my story as much. So whatever it was that made you put that call across must have been God, because you just know a part of my story. So I really, really am grateful that you chose me to be part of this wonderful group of people who would share their story here today. Thank you very much. I'd like to say a very big thank you to you all for accepting the invitation to be here to hear my story, and I think you deserve a round of applause. I would equally like to thank all the speakers, those who have spoken before me and those who will still share. I came here with the mind of not only to share my story, but also to be inspired by the stories of my fellow speakers. And truthfully, I have been inspired. I've had to write a lot of things. I've had to make certain decisions even while sitting here. So thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause. My journey to becoming a speaker, a trainer, and a consultant started with me first finding myself. It started with me discovering who I want to be, where I want to be, and how far I wanted to go in life. But guess what? Socrates said something. He said an unexamined life is not worth living. In other words, a life that is devoid of critical thinking, self-reflection, and introspection is a meaningless life that had no value. I didn't want to live my life by chance. I didn't want to come to this world and live, and my name is not on the lips of a lot of people, or I didn't replicate myself in people. I wanted it to be that the day I die, and on my graveside, you will not describe me by the amount of money I have been able to amass by the years I've lived in this world, but by the number of people I've been able to pour myself into. The number of lives I've been able to touch, not by the money that I have. Because again, what is money? What is the properties? All I wanted was to live a life of impact. But guess what? The moment you find purpose, life will come and throw a curveball at you. The moment you discover what you need to do next, life will start bringing up its voices and asking you, is it your type that can get there? Life will begin to show you things that will make you not get there. And that was what life did to me. When I was young, when I was a child, you know that excitement of asking a child, what do you want to become in the future? I said, I want to become a pilot, I want to become a medical doctor, I want to become a lawyer. When you asked me at the time, Blessing, what do you want to be in life? I would excitedly tell you I want to be a mass communicator. Even if I didn't know the depth of what that meant, all I knew was that I loved Fumi Yonda of NTA. Every time she was presenting on TV, my family will call me, Blessing, your role model is on TV, and I will come and sit down. Although she was using very high-sounding words that I had no meanings to, I just enjoyed listening to her, and all I wanted was to be that. I wanted to grow to become a presenter, cast news, forecast the weather, or just do something be in front of the camera. That was exactly what I wanted to do. When I see people flying so high, I wanted to be like that. And then life would tell me, who's your father? And life would tell me, who do you know? And life would tell me, how do you think you can get there? And the more the voices spoke to me, the more I had responses to silence the voice. Because I see fear as false evidence appearing real. And the best things of life are found on the other side of fear. If you don't take that step, you will never know how far you can go or how well you can do. So the next time you feel nervous and anxious about taking that bold step, tell yourself, it is only a new territory. It doesn't mean I can't do it. And then fear will give way. When I was in GS3, with all my dreams and aspirations, the day I was to write my junior WAEC, just a day before the day I was to write my junior WAEC, the man who believed so much in me, who gave me listening ears, who told me that my dreams were valid and I could do much more than I envisaged for myself, he died a day to the day I was to write my WAEC, and that was my father. My whole world came crashing. Everything I dreamed of came crashing. Because everybody we called auntie and uncle from my father's place, they disappeared. My father was a chief when he was in Lagos because he was the first person from his town to come to Lagos. So every young guy from the village who came to Lagos to get a living saw my father as an icon. So they were coming to the house. But when he died, they disappeared. So we had no one. It was just me, my mother, siblings, and God. That was the point I said to myself, every aspirations I had, the dreams I had, they were all gone. But somehow, God had a different story. God had a different plan for me entirely. I remember the next day coming into the exam hall, and I was going to write. My paper kept tearing off because of tears. They would change my paper and tell me to calm down. Do you want to take this exam, or we should make you repeat the class? I said, no, I'll take the exam. And a teacher whispered to my ears and said, instead of doing this, channel your energy into making good grades and make your father proud. And that gave me so much confidence. And I said to myself, I will start the business of making you proud even though you are dead. And since then, I have been in that business. And I hope wherever he is, he's proud of how far I have come. And then I continued my life. I knew I had this very strong passion for speaking, but I didn't know what it was or what I could do with it. I just enjoyed debating in class. You invite me to come and speak, I would gladly do it. But I just didn't, I couldn't make anything out of that. I was born into a poor family. We lived in a face me, I slap you in a jegolesa. The kind that when you open your net, somebody else will open their net and pa, there's a coalition. The kind that you put otukpa in the corridor, passage, and people are shouting, no kill us with smoke, oh, because everywhere will be clouded with smoke. But all I wanted was to do well in life. So I read my book with atukpa and lanta till my eyes started having problems. My mother would say, don't kill yourself because you want to be great in life. I said, don't worry. People are fast asleep in the middle of the night. There is no light. I'm using lantern to read in the passage. Those who have a pass my neighbor generator will not even allow me concentrate. That was when I even built the ability to read with noise. So everything together was part of the package. So I would read with that loud generator. And I would read to the point that water would start coming out of my eyes. Because I said, I must leave my mark in the school. And by the way, the secondary school I went to, it was a school where boys take pleasure in fighting. So I became the head girl, and they called me the head girl of Agberu. Because all they knew how to do every Friday was to fight with other schools. But I remember one beautiful day, my principal took the prefects, all the prefects of the school at the time, and went for an award ceremony where they were giving awards to young students who made the best WAEC result from different public schools within Ajegole and Orile. And I got into that hall, and they were calling people who made 5 grades in their WAEC, 6 grades, and all that. And then, they didn't call our school. And the woman said, what kind of school am I the principal of? You guys never make 5 grades in WAEC. What God, take me out of this school. You guys are a bunch of failures and all that. And I said, Ma, when I get to SS3, by heavens, they will call my name on that stage. The man said, that's what your predecessor, that's what they've been saying. And there was nothing. So please. Ha! I said, Ma, I have said it, and that's how it be. So please, let's go. They did not give us any award. Let's go, yeah. All of you, go, let's go. And other people had award. They were taking picture with their principal. All of us left. They didn't give us anything. And we left like that. And then I felt, how will I even go to the universe? With all the dreams and aspirations I have, where would the help come from when my strong pillar was down? Who would take over from here? And then I got into SS1. And then we're invited to speak, to have a presentation somewhere in Muson Center at the time. And the founder of the NGO that was in my school said, Blessing, we want you to come. He said, do you know Ndidi Wuneli, the founder of Leap Africa? I said, oh, yes, I know her. She's fair, she's slim, she looks like you. I said, oh, yeah, that's true. He said, you will mimic her and we will have a presentation together. And I said, oh, fantastic. So, there was no suit for me to wear. Who would buy me a suit to look like Ndidi Wuneli, of all people in the world, Ndidi? I said, I don't have suit. So I went to borrow suit. Something to make me look, I wasn't like this before. I was very thin. I was like, broom. I had to look for something that would give me that lift. And I went to beg a lady. She said she can only give me the skirt, that the jacket is anointed. That they prayed over her jacket. I said, don't let me take your glory. Keep the jacket, keep the skirt. So I went somewhere else. I said, babe, how far now? We get this presentation for Muson Center. I don't feel look like this. You guys say, my mama no go agree. If you wear, I go return her. I said, I go return her now. So I know, I go wear till you don't wear. I said, even me, I no guess. Me wake up and how can I wear what you have worn? But all I wanted was just to have a good presentation and really just look similar to Ndidi in a way. And then after I tried everything, the Bible says after you've done all you can, you do what? Just stand. That was all I did. And I told the founder, I said, I cannot have this presentation. I don't have suits. I don't have a good wear. And he said, wear your school uniform. After all, how would they even recognize you that you're a student? Wear your uniform. So I wore my school uniform. And then I got to Muson Center. And when it was time for the presentation, they invited me. I stood up and I came up. And I had the conversation with him as if it was Mrs. Ndidi Wuneli that was having the conversation. And then I just sang one song. One song. All I wanted to do was not just to show up, but show up confidently and make a difference. It became my mantra. I don't just show up. I show up well. And I make a lasting impact. They told me to come and sing a song like, Nigeria yeti gbogbo wa ni, kò má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́, torí kò sí ibòmíràn tí a lè lọ, àjò lè dàbí ilé. Continue now. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sowọ́pọ̀ ká fìmọ̀ ṣọ̀kan. Ó yá, gbé kémi gbé. We had white men. If you know about the Leap Africa Annual Leadership Conference, you will know that it's a global conference. White guys come in, we have the black guys, and that was my presentation. By the time I was done, with my school uniform, white socks and brown sandals, God was ministering to a man that was sitting there, that there's something about this lady that just presented. Let's walk up to her. By the time I was done, I came out, and then somebody came up to me and said, oh, our boss is interested in you. I said, who is your boss? He's one of the senior advocates of Nigeria. He said he wants you to come over to the office. Let's have a conversation. And I said, really? Okay. He said, drop your data so that we can reach out to you. My brothers and sisters, I didn't know what data was. I said, yes, sir, no problem, sir. I said, okay, see you around. That's how I forgot. I didn't know what data was and everything. I went all around, everywhere, and then After we're about leaving, and the president came and said, "Oh, Blessing, how far? How was it?" I said, "It was good." Or somebody was saying I should drop data. I don't even know. He said, "You did not drop the data. Where's the person? Who is the person? Data is your information." I said, "Hey, you know, tell me now." We had to go and call the guy. He said, "You wanted Blessing's data?" I said, "Yes." So this is it. This is her name. This is the class she's in, and all that. And then we gave my information. And then when we had the meeting, he looked at me and said, "Blessing, where do you school?" I said, "I school in Badia Ijora, Ajegule Axis." He said, "And you gave that kind of presentation? And you speak so well? And you are in SS1? Amazing." Anyway, my firm, a notable law firm, one of the top law firms in Lagos, we will give you a full scholarship from SS2 till you finish your university. When I told my mother, she said, "Now the thing what they watch for film, now it don't happen to me, so." Jesus Christ. So I don't go pay again. He said, "You don't go pay anything." My mother had one last thing to worry about. Because not only were they taking care of it, they took part of my living expenses. So I wrote my JAM, SS2, wrote my WAEC, SS2, wrote GC in SS2. I cleared my papers, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. I played football with WAEC because I didn't need it anymore. But guess what? Like I told you, I don't just do things for the purpose of doing it. I do it to make an impression. I say, even if I've gotten my GCE, I promised that woman who was our principal that this time, the next time they have this award, they must mention my school, even if it's not me. And then I wrote my senior WAEC. And to the glory of God, in the whole of the school, I had the best WAEC. And my name was called in that same podium to come and receive a word. When I collected it, I said, I dedicate this to that principal who didn't think anything good can come out of Nazareth. And then we were done. I said, Lord, I don't know what you want to do with speaking. There must be something about being a speaker. I don't know how I'm going to put this together, but I speak, people listen. I speak, and people say they are inspired. They are greatly and positively impacted. There must be something about this. What do I do with it? So I said I was going to go to the university. I went to the University of Ibadan to study English. You can't beat me in presentations in class. When we're having presentation, you will know that a blessing Sunday just left the stage. And then I knew something was about the speaking. My lecturer would say, wow, you speak so confidently and passionately. I don't know what you want to make out of this. I'm like, even me, I don't know what to make out of it. Right? So the thing is, everybody can believe in you, but if you don't believe in yourself, you can't make any progress. They can give you all the validations you need until you take a step back and find value and internal validation. There's no way you can make progress. And then when they told me all of that, I said, well, let's see how it goes. They had oratory competitions in the university. I didn't compete for once. And everybody said, where is Blessing Sunday? Why is she not competing? There is a time for you to learn and keep quiet. And there's a time for you to show up. Sometimes when you are too fast to show up, you disappear very quickly. When a bottle of water or a bucket of water is full, you don't need to announce that I am full. The overflow will tell you that something is coming from somewhere. So there was no competition I participated in UI. Every oratory public speaking competition, I sit down there and I listen to them. I listen to the judges give their feedback to the contestants, and I pick up things. I said to myself, I will build a public speaking academy that will help people overcome the fear of public speaking. I will train professionals on how they can dish fear of public speaking, give excellent presentations like me, and make meaningful impact in any room that they walk into. That was it for me. But then, I didn't know how, but I knew I was in my season of gathering information, adding value, and building myself. When I left the university, I graduated with a 5.4. And then everybody said, is English your father's language? How did you graduate with 5.4 in English? He asked, even if you do first class, if they bring a white child to come and speak English with you, the child will beat you. So how come you were able to do that? But I did it, and I came out. When I came out, I said, God, there's so much I need to do. I started speaking in events. My first speaking engagement, the way they honored me was more than the honorarium they gave me. They honored me so well, they brought me to the stage. Oh, Blessed Sunday is here, guys! And I came. When I was done, they gave me an envelope. When I got home, my opening was 2,000 naira. With how I spoke, I said, God, this can never be me. Public speaking, no, I can never turn back. No, you can never. What is that? 2,000 naira? I said, God forbid. I took the 2,000 naira. I went to buy Milo. My mother is a good fan of taking tea. It's like tea is her best food. I went to buy Milo. I bought milk. I bought sugar. And I carried it. I said, Mommy, this is my first public speaking honorarium. Just take all of them. He said, they give you money. She was even excited. I said, pray for me. This money should increase. He said, but this is what you want to do for life. I said, I want to do. He said, no, you can't tell me that. You went to school to be doing it. You can't tell me that. What's there? 2,000 naira. I said, pray for me. Pray for me. And my mom, as usual, when she started prayer, she didn't want to end. We were going to over 15 minutes. My mom was sleeping. I said, Mommy, don't do. It's okay. Don't pray again. That one that you have said, God has heard it. It's okay. He said, in the name of your God, you go open door for my people for abroad. Hey, everywhere in the country, God, you go open door. They open door. I say, you don't do. God don't hear her. And then I continued. I went to serve. I was presenting. Red carpet, I'm there. When you're having a corporate event, I will compare the event. I will do everything I was doing. But then I knew that passion is good. But sometimes you need to gather enough money to fuel your passion. So I knew I was going to get a job. When I was done, I got a job. And they were paying me 125,000 naira. I think that was my net. 125,000 naira. And I was working as a business development officer at the time. I wasn't even doing corporate communications. And then the same firm that gave me the scholarship, that was where I was working in their NGO. And after a while, the man looked at me and called me into the law chamber where they had all the lawyers. And then he said to me, he said, Blessing, I'm happy to announce to you that I just came back from service and I was working with them because they didn't want me to be in the markets. They didn't want me to be in the roaming around the marketplace. And they said to me, we have decided to give you another full scholarship to do your master's in Pan Atlantic University in affiliation with Lagos Business School. I didn't think I could do master's so quickly. I did my master's in media communication. I gathered all the information, public speaking, presentations. I groomed myself, added value. I knew that if I wanted more income, my value had to increase. If value increases, income will increase and there will be balance. So there was so much value I had to add to myself. By the time I was done, everybody said, Blessing, you need to start your own brand. I started calling people for validation. Guy, Alpha, you know when I'm going to start my public speaking academy? Say, start now. If you won't start now. Guy, Alpha, should I start? Start now! It is one thing to believe in your service. The next thing is the courage to start. I was waiting for the right time, but guess what? It will never come if you don't start. I didn't think I had everything. The odds were against me. I came from a poor home. I live in an environment where you will never think anything good can come from. I didn't know anybody that could help me. How do I start? And then one day I told myself, I will start now, even while I'm working. And then I started with my first public speaking training. Please help me display the flyer. I can't even see it. And I did my first public speaking training. And I charged 2,000 naira. 2,000 naira in 2020 in a closed WhatsApp group. And 10 people registered. But the 10 people who registered were my family and friends. Because they wanted to support me. Blessing, you know, go shame us, we'll go register. I said, God, is this the kind of people that I'm looking for? And I had 10 people. As soon as the money came after the class, I used it. And then I kept building. Public Speaking Academy came to be. 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, I registered the business. I continued like that, 25,000 naira. And then I realized that every time I'm making money, I would have used all the money to do the event and I had nothing. And somebody will encourage me, blessing, the first year of your business is not for money, it's for passion. It's for awareness. I said, how will I keep myself? I don't have profits. Let me even have small things to buy clothes and all that. And then I would continue like that, 25,000. So one day, I went to my mentor, Nia Desoya, my public speaking mentor. And Pastor Nia Desoya told me something. He said, blessing, I want to give you an instruction. I said, yes, sir. Anything you tell me, sir. He said, the next training you will do, make it 100,000. I said, no, sir, who will accept? No, I can't charge 100,000. No. He said, you can't charge 100,000. He said, the problem is not in your content. The problem is in your mind. It is the value you have placed in your content that will determine how you charge. Because people have attended my training and they say, you charge this low, and we compare this with what we are getting on the island, and they are almost the same, and you are charging this low. I started losing high-paying clients, high-network individuals, because they felt, how can we pay you 25,000 and attend your training? They did not attend my training. So it looked like my brand is for people in Ajegule. I was called to serve Ajegule people. I said, God, it can never be me. I continued like that. I kept pushing and all that. When he told me I made it 50,000 naira, some people attended. The day I decided to break it was when I saw the power of collaboration. And I went to him, I said, sir, you've got the platform. You've got the network. Can I partner with you to host my first training? And when I did that, I put the fee at 150,000. He told me, change it to 250,000. I said, who will pay, sir? He said, change it. And I changed it to 250,000. And that time, we got over 25 people who registered and paid their amount. And then I made my first 1 million in business. Collaboration is the new oil. Why compete with the person that you can learn from? What's the problem? If you see someone that is good, you stoop to conquer. You go under. Being under does not devalue you. You are just going there to pick up yourself, and then you would rise. And then, this is 2025. The last training I did was 500,000. You rose from 2,000 naira to now charging 500,000 naira. And guess what? People paid to attend that training just to learn public speaking, effective communication, effective internal organizational communication, helping organizations put structure in their communication system. As I prepare to round off, if you forget everything I have said, remember this. The version of you that set goals is not the version of you that will achieve the goal. Certain doors will not open to you until you have grown into the version of you that should pass through that door. So don't be afraid when doors are shut. They were shut against me too. But I knew I needed to grow. So as I grew, evolved, added value to myself, income started increasing. Today, just by showing up confidently, I have been invited to speak in a global stage where the biggest network of entrepreneurs across the world, Youth Business International, invited me to compare a global event just by showing up consistently. So I dare you, don't just dream. Chase your dream with all passion. The universe will conspire to support you. Thank you.